Okay, here we go. Alright, so I spent like fucking an hour trying to figure out how to live stream on YouTube because I changed this whole thing so that you have to have like an encoder, and then I got one and I downloaded it. Basically, I was like figuring it out for an hour and it just did not work. But I'm on here now, and this is gonna stay as a video on my channel. So yeah, don't be fooled by the accent. I am Australian. I grew up over in New South Wales up until I was 10 years old. And so then after that I moved to Asia for a few years, and then I moved back to Australia I moved here maybe 4 years ago. So Australia is my home. I spent my first 10 years in public schools here. I visited here when I was away. I considered myself Australian, and don't be fooled by the accent, like I said. And for those who don't know, Australia right now is on fire, and it is devastating. I've got some facts here next to me, and I will be putting some links down below for resources. But quickly, I just want to say to you guys that I am safe. I live in Western Australia, and the fires are not as bad here as they are over east. But New South Wales, where I grew up, is experiencing such terrible fires. We have lost millions of acres of land, to the point where Chile is seeing the smoke, smelling the smoke. And a few days ago, a suburb in Western Australia called Baldivis, maybe 20 kilometers away from me, had an extreme bushfire, to the point where it was just so, like, leaving my house just smells like smoke. And I can't even imagine what it's like over east in New South Wales. To the point where people in Melbourne are running to stores to get gas masks, and they are sold out. Imagine, like, breathing such toxic air, running to a store to get a gas mask, and they're all sold out because everyone else is scared too. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I wrote some notes down here. Our home is on fire. Which is really, really scary. And I titled this because my friend sent me a message and was like, I'm sorry, your home is on fire. And Australia has such beautiful wildlife. So here are some facts that I wrote down last night, but they are different as of today. So the fire season began in early August. It's January. Over 2,000 homes have been destroyed. New South Wales was hit the worst. And the reason why the bushfires have been so devastating and brutal is because of the hot, dry weather, the lack of rain, and the very strong winds. And of course, it doesn't help that climate change is a thing and that it's very, very real. But please read up on that in your own time. 15 million acres burned Australia-wide. That's bigger than Belgium. Just have a look. I wrote this down last night that over 500 million animals are dead, but I looked up this morning that 1 billion animals are confirmed dead. That is 1/3 of the koala population. 1/3 of the koalas are dead. And those who are surviving are hungry, are thirsty, are breathing toxic air. They're homeless, and they feel hopeless. Like, it's devastating. These koalas are losing their moms, are losing their kids, are losing their life. These kangaroos are running for their lives. They're watching their whole country be burned alive. And I can't just sit here and not say anything. I've spoken so much about it on Instagram. I'm universal.hobo on Instagram. And I'm not telling you guys to donate. But if you can, please do, and I will leave links below right after this live stream. I'm asking you guys to raise your voice. These animals do not have a voice to ask for help. They can't pick up their phones and call someone and ask them for help, ask them for a place to stay. And you have a voice. You are so lucky to have a voice. Please help stand up for Australia. This is not an Australia problem. This is the world's problem. This is the air you are going to be breathing in. I'm scared that Perth is going to be hit next, and we're going to run out of gas masks. And our wildlife here is going to burn and die. And we're going to be breathing toxic air. And I've heard so many stories of kids getting born in Melbourne, and they're only 1 month old, and they've never had a breath of fresh air. Australia has had the cleanest air, and now because of the bushfires, people are breathing in toxic air. This is the biggest crisis Australia has ever faced. And please, please raise your voice for our country, for our world. If you don't believe that this place is on fire, which is ridiculous, then at least stand up for climate change. Please protest on the streets. There are climate strike rallies that you can be a part of, and stand up. Like, you have a voice, and I am so disappointed in those who are not using it for good. Whether that's just telling your mom and dad about the fires, whether that's posting that on Instagram, any type of awareness helps, because I know it's difficult to donate. We're all in times of struggle with money, financial wise, but if you tell it to someone and they pass it on to someone and they pass it on to someone who has money, maybe that person will donate, because these firefighters are volunteering. They're not even getting paid. They're risking their lives to save the animals, to save the people, to save people's houses. It's gotten to the point where some small towns have fled to the beach and had to jump into the water so that they don't get burned alive. And I've just seen the worst photos of just parents holding their kids above water, trying to just keep them alive because the fires are so bad and they're scared to be burned alive, so they all run into the water, and it's so devastating. And let me reiterate one more time. I am safe. I'm fine. I'm breathing good enough air, but people over east are not. I'm safe, but my country is not. So please speak up. I urge you. Thank you all for watching, and right after the stream, I'll add all the details of where you can donate or what you can share online, because this is very devastating. And thank you everyone who's left me some beautiful comments. Thank you Jenna Rose. Thank you Jessica Walton. Thank you Lucinda Rose. Thank you all of you. Thanks so much. I really, really appreciate you guys using your voice for something good, because now, after my country is experiencing the worst, I know that I will speak up for your country. And on top of that, Philippines, where my mom is from, is experiencing a volcanic eruption. And our families there are fleeing. So it feels like our world is falling apart. And so, please speak up, because I know now, after all this, I will speak up for your country. Thank you guys.